She ordered expensive wine, expensive food and ate everything alone while her boyfriend drank only water. She had no idea he was a billionaire testing her character. What happened next taught her a lesson she'll never forget. Before we begin, if you enjoy stories with powerful life lessons, please hit that like button, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications because we share wisdom like this every single day. Good evening, my dear children. Sit down, sit down. Your grandmother wants to tell you a story tonight. A story about a young woman named Vanessa who learned the hardest lesson of her life. And I pray with all my heart that you beautiful young ladies listening will learn from her mistakes before it's too late. Now let me ask you something. What do you think is the fastest way to lose a good man? Bad character? Disrespect? Absolutely. But let me tell you what drives a quality man away faster than anything else. Selfishness. A woman who thinks the world revolves around her. A woman who takes but never gives. This is Vanessa's story. Vanessa was 26 years old, beautiful as a sunrise, with smooth dark skin, long braided hair, and a figure that turned heads everywhere she went. She knew she was attractive, and honey, did she use it to her advantage. She had 3 different men sending her money every month, buying her hair, paying for her nails, her lashes, her lifestyle. But Vanessa wanted more. She wanted a serious relationship, but only with a man who could maintain her expensive taste. In her mind, a man's only job was to provide, pamper, and worship her. She never once asked herself, what am I bringing to the table besides my beauty? One Tuesday afternoon, Vanessa was rushing to a job interview, late as usual because she spent too much time taking selfies. She flagged down a cab, and the driver who stopped was a man named Marcus. Marcus was an ordinary-looking man, maybe 32 years old, wearing a simple shirt and jeans, driving an old Toyota. Nothing special about him at first glance. But he had kind eyes and a warm smile. "Where to, miss?" he asked. "Victoria Island, and please hurry." "I'm late," Vanessa said, not even looking up from her phone. During the drive, Marcus tried to make conversation. "Job interview." Vanessa responded, still scrolling through Instagram, comparing herself to other girls, making sure her photos had more likes. "I hope it goes well for you," Marcus said genuinely. When they arrived, Vanessa paid the exact fare, no tip, no thank you, and rushed out. But Marcus watched her go, intrigued by something he couldn't quite name. Over the next 2 weeks, Vanessa noticed the same cab driver always seemed to be nearby when she needed a ride. She didn't know that Marcus had been paying attention to her schedule, hoping to see her again. Finally, one evening, Marcus gathered his courage. "Miss, I know this might be forward, but I've enjoyed our conversations. Would you allow me to take you out for dinner?" Vanessa looked at him, really looked at him for the first time. Cab driver. Not wealthy, not flashy, but there was something sincere in his eyes. And truthfully, the men who were sending her money weren't offering relationships, just transactions. "Okay," she said, surprising herself. Friday evening. Now, my dear girls, let me pause here and tell you what Vanessa didn't know. Marcus wasn't just a cab driver. He was Marcus Adeyemi, owner of Adeyemi Transport Company, one of the largest logistics businesses in Lagos. He owned over 200 vehicles, had contracts with major corporations, and his net worth was over 280 billion Nigerian nairas. But Marcus had learned something painful in his past relationships. Women saw his money before they saw him. They loved his wallet, not his heart. So he created a test. He would approach women as a simple cab driver and observe their character when they thought he had nothing to offer but himself. Their first date arrived. Marcus picked Vanessa up in his old Toyota, took her to a modest restaurant in Surulere. Nothing fancy, just good local food and a clean environment. Vanessa's face fell when she saw the place, but she said nothing. They sat down and Marcus ordered jollof rice and chicken. "What would you like?" he asked Vanessa. "Now watch this, my children. Watch carefully." Vanessa's eyes scanned the menu, landing on the most expensive items. "I'll have the grilled fish, fried rice, coleslaw, and bring me Chapman to drink. The large one." Marcus smiled and placed the order. When the food came, Vanessa dug in immediately, eating with focus and enthusiasm. Marcus watched as she finished her entire plate, licked her fingers and sat back satisfied. He had barely touched his own food. His appetite had disappeared as he observed something disturbing. Not once did Vanessa ask if he was enjoying his meal, if he wanted to taste her fish, if he needed anything. She ate like she was alone at home. "Did you enjoy it?" Marcus asked. "Yes, the fish was good, but I've had better," Vanessa said, pulling out her phone to take a picture of the empty plate for Instagram. She had to let people know she was being taken out. Marcus paid the bill, 40,500 Nigerian nairas. He didn't mind the money. He minded the character. Over the next 5 weeks, Marcus took Vanessa out several more times. And each time, the same pattern repeated itself. When he visited her small apartment in Ikorodu, Vanessa would cook for herself, dish a full plate, and eat while Marcus sat there, watching, waiting to be offered something. She never did. "Aren't you hungry?" he would finally ask. "Oh, didn't you eat before you came?" she'd respond, genuinely confused that this should be her concern. The most revealing moment came on their 4th date. Marcus decided to take her somewhere nicer this time, to see if the environment changed her behavior. He took her to a lounge in Lekki. "Order whatever you like," he said. Vanessa's eyes lit up. She ordered a bottle of expensive red wine, 85,000 Nigerian nairas, chicken pepper soup, another large chapman, and jollof rice with turkey. Marcus ordered a bottle of water. Just water. 500 Nigerian nairas. He sat there, sipping his water slowly, watching as Vanessa devoured everything on the table. The wine, the soup, the rice, the turkey. Everything. She ate like someone who hadn't seen food in days, never once offering him a bite, never once asking, "Baby, are you sure you don't want something more? Are you really okay with just water?" When the bill came, 147,800 Nigerian nairas, Marcus paid without complaint. But inside, his heart was heavy. This wasn't about the money. It was about the spirit, the selfishness, the complete absence of consideration. After that night, Marcus decided to conduct one final test. "Vanessa," he said a few days later, "I need to ask you something. You know I'm just a cab driver. Money is tight for me. Would you be willing to take me out this time? Maybe somewhere affordable and you pay the bill? Just this once." Vanessa was quiet for a long moment. No man had ever asked her to pay for anything. But she was starting to have feelings for Marcus. He was kind, consistent, always available. Maybe she could do this one small thing. "Okay," she agreed. Friday evening. Friday came. Marcus suggested a small, clean restaurant in Ikeja where they could have drinks and small chops. Nothing expensive. Maybe 5,000 Nigerian nairas total. But when Marcus picked her up and mentioned the place, Vanessa's face twisted in disgust. "That place. No, no, no. If I'm spending my money, we're going somewhere worth it. Take me to Club Quilox." Marcus's heart sank, but he nodded. "Okay, if that's what you want." At Club Quilox, Vanessa ordered a full bottle of wine, 220,000 Nigerian nairas, chicken and chips, and even asked for a fruit platter. Marcus, staying in character, ordered only shisha and one shot of tequila, 22,000 Nigerian nairas total. They sat there, Vanessa drinking her wine, eating her chicken, enjoying the ambience, taking videos for her Instagram story. "Out with Bae," she captioned it with heart emojis. Marcus watched her. Not with anger, but with profound sadness. Here was a woman who could have been a queen, but her character made her a beggar in disguise. She had beauty but no substance, attraction but no value. When the bill came, 292,300 Nigerian nairas, the waiter placed it on the table. Vanessa glanced at it, her eyes widened, and she quickly pushed it toward Marcus. "Baby, you know I was just joking, right? You're the man. The man always pays." She smiled, that beautiful smile that had gotten her so much in life. But this time it didn't work. Marcus looked at her steadily. "Vanessa, you agreed to pay tonight. I asked you if you were sure and you said yes. I suggested an affordable place, and you insisted on coming here. Now the bill is here, and you're telling me it was a joke." Vanessa's face flushed. "Marcus, don't embarrass me here. Just pay it. I'll pay you back." "When? You've never paid for anything. Not even a bottle of water." People at nearby tables were starting to glance over. Vanessa's embarrassment turned to anger. "You know what? You're just a poor cab driver who can't handle a real woman. I don't know why I even wasted my time with you." She grabbed her purse and stood up. "Sit down, Vanessa," Marcus said quietly, his voice carrying an authority she'd never heard before. Something in his tone made her pause. Marcus pulled out a black credit card, the kind Vanessa had only seen in movies, and paid the bill without blinking. Then he looked at her. "I want to show you something," he said, pulling out his phone. He opened his banking app and turned the screen toward her. Vanessa's eyes went wide. The balance read, 55,847,392,455.67 Nigerian Nairas. "I'm not a cab driver, Vanessa." "Well, I am, but I own the company. Adeyemi Transport. Maybe you've heard of it." Vanessa's mouth fell open. Adeyemi Transport. Everyone knew that company. They had contracts with Dangote, with government agencies, with major corporations. You're lying," she stammered. Marcus pulled up his LinkedIn profile, showing his credentials, his company website, photos of him at business conferences. It was all real. "For 5 weeks I watched you, Vanessa. I watched you eat in front of me without offering me a bite. I watched you order expensive things while I drank water, and you never once asked if I was okay. I watched you cook food and eat it alone while I sat in your house as your guest. I watched you care only about yourself, never about me." Tears started rolling down Vanessa's cheeks, but they were tears of regret, not remorse. She was crying because she'd lost an opportunity, not because she'd hurt someone. "Marcus, please, I didn't know. If I had known who you were." "Exactly," Marcus interrupted. "If you had known who I was, you would have treated me differently. But Vanessa, a woman of real character, treats everyone with kindness and consideration, whether they're a cab driver or a CEO. You failed the test not because you didn't know I had money, but because when you thought I had nothing, you gave me nothing. Not even basic human decency." He stood up. "This relationship is over. I wish you well, but I can't build a future with someone who only values me for what I can provide." Marcus walked out of Club Quilox, leaving Vanessa sitting there, stunned, humiliated, and alone. Now, my dear girls, you might think this is where the story ends. But let me tell you about karma, because she always comes to collect her debt. 3 months later, Vanessa was still single, but now with a reputation. Marcus had friends in high places, and word spread quickly about the beautiful girl who failed the millionaire's test. Men started seeing her differently. The ones who would have been good partners avoided her. The ones who approached her were only interested in her body, not her future. Her Instagram following grew because of the gossip, but her real life became smaller. The friends who used to envy her started pitying her. The men who used to send her money stopped, because they heard she was ungrateful and selfish. One evening, 6 months after Marcus left, Vanessa was at a wedding when she saw him. But he wasn't alone. On his arm was a woman, not as conventionally beautiful as Vanessa, but glowing with something deeper. Contentment. Vanessa learned later that the woman was a schoolteacher, someone Marcus met who treated him with kindness even when he was dressed simply. Someone who offered to pay on dates. Someone who cooked and served him first before serving herself. Someone who asked, "Have you eaten? Are you okay? What do you need?" At that moment Vanessa understood. She had lost not just a man but a lesson. And the price of that lesson was her happiness. Now let me talk to you young ladies directly. Are you listening? In this generation, social media has lied to you. It has told you that your only value is your beauty, your body, your ability to look expensive. It has told you that a man's only job is to provide, and your only job is to look pretty and receive. But let me tell you the truth your grandmother knows. Beauty fades. The body changes. Instagram followers don't keep you warm at night. But character lasts forever. A selfish woman will always be alone, even in a marriage. Because selfishness kills love slowly. It's like poison in water, you don't see it, but it destroys everything. When you eat in front of your man and never ask if he's hungry, you're telling him you don't care about his needs. When you demand expensive things but never contribute, you're telling him you're a liability, not a partner. When you cook and serve yourself first without thinking of him, you're showing him that in your world, he doesn't matter. And you know what happens? Good men leave. They leave quietly, without drama, without explanation. They just disappear. And you'll be left wondering why you can't keep a man, why every relationship fails, why you're still single at 35, 40, 45. Let me tell you the consequences of selfish behavior. For single women, you'll attract the wrong kind of men. The users, the manipulators, the ones who see you as you see them, as a transaction. Good men, men of substance, will test you like Marcus did, and you'll fail. You'll end up with a reputation that follows you everywhere. For married women, your marriage will be a battlefield. Your husband will grow resentful. He'll work hard, provide for you, and receive nothing in return, no appreciation, no care, no partnership. He'll either leave or worse, he'll stay but his heart will be gone. You'll have a ring but no relationship. House but no home. Now let me ask you, my beautiful listeners. What do you think about Vanessa's behavior? Was Marcus wrong to test her? Should he have revealed who he was from the beginning? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I want to hear from you. In my opinion, Marcus did the right thing. He protected himself from a woman who would have loved his wallet, not his heart. And Vanessa, she got exactly what she gave. Nothing. But here's what makes me sad. Vanessa could have had everything. If she had just shown basic kindness, basic consideration, basic selflessness, she would be Mrs. Adeyemi today, living in a mansion, traveling the world, secure and loved. But she chose her ego over her future. She chose Instagram validation over real connection. She chose to take instead of give. Don't be like Vanessa. When your man visits you, even if he's not hungry, offer him food. Ask him, "Baby, what can I get you? Have you eaten?" When you're on a date and he orders something small, don't order the most expensive thing on the menu just because you can. Show restraint. Show consideration. When the bill comes and you can contribute, do it. Even if it's just once in a while, show him you're a partner, not a dependent. Learn to give, not just receive. Learn to serve, not just be served. Learn to ask, "Are you okay? What do you need?" Instead of just talking about yourself. This is not about being a slave or losing your value. This is about being human. About having empathy. About understanding that love is a partnership, not a monarchy where you're the only queen that matters. Remember, a good man is not looking for perfection. He's looking for effort. He's looking for a woman who tries, who cares, who sees him as more than an ATM machine. Before I end this story, let me tell you what happened to Vanessa 5 years later. She's still single, still beautiful, but now bitter. She's watching her friends get married, have children, build families, while she's still chasing the next man who will buy her the next expensive thing. And Marcus? He's happily married with 2 children, building an empire with a woman who saw his value before she saw his bank account. The moral of this story is simple. Character is everything. Selfishness will cost you everything. And karma never forgets an address. So, my dear listeners, if this story touched your heart or taught you something valuable, please hit that like button. Share this video with every young woman who needs to hear it. Drop a comment telling me what you think about Vanessa's behavior. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications because your grandmother has many more stories to share. Remember, beauty can open doors, but only character keeps them open. God bless you all and choose wisdom over vanity. Good night.